pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need to approve the date
So
of June.
moved.
Second?
Second?
Okay. All in favor? Thank you very much. Do I have public comment? We have three things that we need, or maybe four. Number one, we need to figure out how we're going to have this as an educational breakfast. The second one is have a date and a time and a place. And the fourth thing would be who is going to be invite. Okay? So we have something.
You know, looking at the options for the venue and food prices, I've been to the one at Pinckney Hall. That's always really a nice event.
What we did is provided you where we had them.
Yes.
And the reason why we did it at the district office last year
Yeah.
is because Pinckney's price went up significantly. It was over $1,000, it was like
Yes.
$1,400 last year. So that didn't become an option because we had budgeted based off of what the previous year was. You know, we figured it wouldn't be any more than $1,000. So that was the reason why we were at the district last year.
So, Robin, why are we going with USCB catering in the past? Didn't we used to use the ACE students?
We used them 1 year when we were at ACE. We used them only at that year that we were at ACE, and that was the first year that we did it. We did USCB because their prices had been cheaper, and they would go to they were on the approved vendors list, like at Pinckney Hall, because Pinckney Hall had only certain approved vendors. Our students, we were looking at using our culinary departments, but they couldn't go across the bridge and they weren't on the approval list, like at Pinckney Hall. So USC was. So that was the reason why, and the prices were good.
Of all the venues, that I thought was the worst one.
Which one?
The USCB timing.
Yeah, and it was
not built for this kind of thing.
I remember hearing, yeah.
the window, because of the size, the windows were blocked, so the lights was coming in. So yeah, so that was the 1 year we tried and we didn't go back.
Where did we get some of our biggest turnout?
Pinckney Hall. Pinckney Hall has
Yeah.
been, Pinckney Hall has been the biggest.
Where's that hidden Cypress Ballroom?
That was on Sun City, and we used that place. It was it was real small. And that was because Pinckney Hall wasn't available, but they offered us Hidden Cypress, but it's a very small, it was one of their smaller rooms, very small.
All the way in the back of Sun City and people can
Yes.
get lost.
Oh, gotcha.
Like way back.
How many people generally attend? Probably about 120 to 140. It's usually in that range.
So Herb had the last one at the DESC, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was nice. I mean, I thought that was well done.
The focus has changed in the last 2 years, maybe 3, toward an awards concept, where we were naming different people and we would get the awards names from communications, so you talk about
We would run by the.
how they were selected.
Yeah, I mean, and it's sort of like the Academy Awards, we would, depending on what we were looking at, and I think we reached out to people for ideas, a couple of student groups, a couple of, I think we did a volunteer,
Community we had community.
a teacher. I think we picked one teacher called Local Hero, a teacher who had grown up here, went to school here, went away to college, and then came back here to teach. It was in their first year. If you go that route, you can pretty much recognize
Mhm.
whatever you want to recognize, be it to the committee's purview.
We moved from, at one time, when we originally started the State of the School breakfast, it was the board's way of telling the community, and we didn't charge the community. So this was give to the community and saying, this is where the school district is, and this is what we were highlighting. When we first started it, we had a panel, and at that time, it was about Grad Nation. And so we were talking about 2020, the number of students who were graduating in 2020. We had invited different, we had the military, we had USC, we had TCL, we had Embry-Riddle, we had Gulfstream, we had different people in the community, businesses, to talk about what they were looking for graduation, or soft skills,
Graduates.
soft skills and so forth. So, and
That
then
was
the
at
community.
ACE, right?
That was at ACE.
That
That was the first one that we did. And then the community, it was a Q&A, so they got to ask questions of the panel and of the superintendent at the time, which was Valerie. Then we moved from that concept to, we had just, then after that, did the strategic governance plans. We had just rolled out the new strategic plan, so we were talking about the different aspects of the plan, and the senior staff, communications, student services, they talked about the numbers, and we did test scores. That was too much talking and too much data, and people kind of went, ugh. So then we moved from having just a little bit of that to make sure that we had student performance. We had, when we did it at USC, that's when we had B for High drama. They did the play, Hear Something, Say Something. We had a little bit more focus on students. We still, of course, highlighted our achievements that we did. And then we moved to the awards and stuff concept.
At what point do we pick the theme? Usually there's an overarching theme.
Each year, we just pick the thing
Yeah.
between, we would have just the volunteers from the board who would
Yeah.
get together. Molly and I would sit there and suggest with the board members who just kind of came together. And then for the last couple of years, and we would ask communications, so prior to that, it would be Carol or Megan, and so then we asked Kristen and Jim for suggestions of theme or what the overall theme the district was going to, and we were trying to be a part of that and continue that.
I get the sense that people just started getting, when we focused on achievements, everything that we talked about, everybody already knew. Right?
They're getting it at board meetings.
They're getting it at board meetings, they're getting it in news releases, they're getting it online. So they're just basically hearing like, okay, here's what happened the past year. When that audience really sort of knows it anyway, they're already on our list. And I think people started looking for something different, a different approach, something fresh, something that they didn't already know and hadn't already been exposed to.
So do you think we maybe need to talk about things that we want to come up with in the coming year?
I was thinking proposity. Is that, could we highlight that?
Absolutely.
Or one of our, isn't there's something that where they've got the sunglasses or the glasses on. And what's that? On our website, it's 2020 vision is what it's looking like.
That's the social media back to school.
Yeah, back to school campaign, but I don't know, I was just,
Excuse me.
I like a new day because you have so many new at the highest levels. We have a new superintendent. We have a new chief instructional services officer. We have a new SPED department head. And I think, the message that I keep hearing echoed is this is new, it's a fresh start. And I keep hearing that over and over again.
You're still a new board too. You're still the first
and
year.
we're still in, and we're a new board.
Yeah.
So that's been sort of rattling around in my head as an overarching theme, and then introducing to the public who all is new in these key roles. Key roles. New board members, Dr. Stratos, and I think that's For me, that's what I think this year ought to be about, because there's so much new and so much positive change coming. But I agree with you, Jim, that the data dump is too dry and it's not entertaining and it doesn't highlight our best assets sometimes, and they can get that at the board meeting.
Is there a way to combine the New Day sort of overarching theme with the sort of starting to move toward a new strategic plan? Has anybody been to any of Dr. Rodriguez's Listen and Learn events yet? The way he does those things is he breaks up the room into groups, and each group tackles 3 questions. One of them is, what are we doing really well? And then the groups identify challenges and then things we need to improve. And everybody takes them down. And Kristen is keeping all that data, creating Excel spreadsheets. The idea is that all of that feedback, when it's gathered from all those meetings, will sort of be the foundation for the next strategic plan, which it's time for us to do that.
Yeah.
We're starting to restart on that.
So what's the timeline on that? In other words, when we have this breakfast, will he have completed his
Yes.
You will,
listen?
yeah.
Yes.
So he
The
can
last
bring
one is
all of
next
that
week.
forward. That would be a great platform. That's what you're saying, right?
Last one's on the 30th.
30th of
Yeah.
September.
Yeah, that's good timing.
And there even could be,
Yeah.
maybe there could be a way to do with this audience, which is different. These are the muckety mucks, the the legislative delegation and mayors and whatnot, who might not have been to any of these Listen and Learn events. And you might even be able to do some condensed version of that with that audience.
I think that's ideal.
Mhm.
I'd like to hear what all the, sections of the county said, what they said on St. Helena, versus Bluffton. And that's a great platform for that. I love that. And I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion.
Okay.
Everybody else gonna go? That we utilize, that the committee recommend to the full board, I think that's how it should start, that we utilize the DESC venue with the food estimate presented.
That's
Dollar
right,
estimate.
yeah.
Is that Sodexo, Rod? Would Sodexo okay?
Yes,
I
we were
think
we were
it
gonna
was-
ask the desk,
Yeah.
sorry.
They do breakfast really well.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
Anything else? All in favor? Thank you. Now, we have to come up with a date and a time.
Who's got the master calendar?
I will.
I have, Kristen, can you get into, our website to look at our calendar?
There's nothing that really requires breakfast. We always just sort of assume.
We did breakfast because it was cheap.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the
So,
it's the food
Well, it
breakfast.
Yes.
keeps the cost
It
down.
keeps the cost
Yeah.
down, but breakfast is the cheapest meal of the
Yeah.
day that you can serve.
Got it.
Could you
And
do like a 9, what time do you typically start?
we start at 8 and try to do it from 8:30 to 10 so that people
Yeah.
can get to
Where
where they
they
go. Right.
Gotcha.
So we do like a registration, come in and get started, seated about 8, and then we try to start from about 8:15. We do breakfast between 8:30, 9, and then from 9 to 9:45. We want to be out the door by 10.
Makes sense.
So we
You
try,
wanna
we
sit
try,
back
we
and-
try, we try to keep it within that time frame
Yes.
so people can say we're out the door by 10.
Yeah. October, we are looking at October.
So the time frame is usually at the end, toward the end. We try to do it mid-October, because that's when the test scores were embarked, and we were able to have the data. So,
It's coming earlier this year.
right.
In the past, it's,
Oh, it is, huh?
But we're not gonna do a data dump
Right.
anyways,
Right.
right?
So it doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter.
and you're looking ahead, not back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about, are there any days that are better for Frank, and then he's gonna be a key figure? I don't know.
Well, we could look and see what's available in DES, and then get those dates, and then see and then if any of those dates work for him. so we can give him some choices.
We have,
The work
just-
session,
we have the work
25th.
session, the 25th and the 26th.
He does have some student advisories on those days.
What about Thursday the 17th?
She's checking the board calendar.
Good.
Do we have enough time to get it pulled together by then?
Well, tell me what planning looks like in regard to
Yeah.
food, Rhonda. Have you spearheaded that, or has Jim done that?
No, Mom and I usually do it. We would just contact, Sodexo and he
Yeah.
would be fine. We just have to give him a number, and if we stay with the number that we generally, we say about 125, 130, so we can plan for about 130.
And the invites go out electronically?
Last year was the first time that we did that, and it worked wonderfully. We did
Yeah.
invite, and that was.
Like an e-invite, like a monthly
Yeah.
Yes,
envelope?
and that's
Yeah.
exactly what we did, and that
Yeah.
was, like, we could manage and keep up, so
Yeah.
that worked wonderfully. We would do that again.
So this list, this is typically what we use every year. You send out about 252, we get 130 roughly down. Is that fairly consistent from year to year?
130 to 140.
130
To
to
140 has been, I think 140 was our highest.
Have we had any faux pas where we've left anybody off that we should have included? 'Cause
We always ask everybody, if anybody, like we try to invite sororities, fraternities, any other groups, so
Okay.
if there's people on that list that you think we should be inviting, then that's what we send invitations to. We've sent out to NAACP when we've had,
Yes.
current addresses, we've sent out to past board chairs, we have sent it out to past board members, we have sent out to, so.
Dr. Rodriguez is the guest of honor to Kiwanis meeting, the morning of October 17th.
There you go.
Oh, okay. So that, the 24th?
October 24th?
And that's the day before the work session. I don't know, is that too?
There's no real conflict.
Okay.
It's open.
How about October
So the
24th?
24th?
So what do you,
John, you're pretty quiet over there. You have something to say? No?
Even at the county level, we
Go
have
ahead
new
and block
people.
out for it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's like a whole
Right.
flush of
State of the schools breakfast.
so we would do a miniature listen and learn.
Yeah, somewhere, like an
Somewhere,
overview
okay.
of all the different
October
clusters.
24th is okay. I like it.
Excellent.
Okay. So, maybe we start, I like Joanne's idea of introducing our new key people, so that people have a face with the name, and, then, just starting out with that, and then going right into the listen and learn activity to get people engaged, and
Yeah.
what do you think?
Sounds great to me, and entertainment, since we're scaling back at our board meetings, it might be like, are we backed up on any entertainment acts lately?
Well,
Kathy, you would know
Well,
better
we,
than I
we
do,
haven't,
right?
we are still going with the entertainment.
Yes, you're still
We're
going.
just, and there must not be anybody in September, is that a month that they're not ready to go?
You started October?
October, okay.
She's
We're just, we're limiting,
Okay.
our thing is,
I'm
we're
spreading it
really
out.
limiting the time
Yes.
that they have.
We're still doing
Okay.
this to shorten the time.
To shorten the
Understood.
time,
Understood.
that's our first stab at it, Joanne, we'll see.
Yeah, no,
No.
that's good. Well, it was already posted.
Yeah.
We've got it.
So what we have tried to do in the past is alternate schools from different sides. So like if last year we asked Bluffton High, then I think last year we did, since it was at the disc, we did Battery Creek and,
Kusa, well.
well, those were the awards, but
Okay, presentation, student performance, the troubadours.
yes, Beaufort Middle Troubadours.
So then are we looking at someone on the other side of the bridge?
We would, but then we would also have to, we are responsible for transportation to make sure the students get here.
Oh, and yeah, we're looking at 8:30.
So, well, Beaufort High has a number of really good musical groups, I mean, that I've heard over the years. They're really outstanding. Always a crowd pleaser. Jim, you've seen them all.
They do.
Which ones stand out to you? Are there any
The chorus, Beaufort House
Well,
chorus.
Suggesting Well Branch,
Yeah,
Hey
right.
there.
How you doing?
Well Branch High School
Yeah.
chorus or,
There was a singer who was at the ribbon cutting, and she was phenomenal.
Yeah.
okay,
Absolutely, like chills.
okay.
It was so good.
Oh, let's roll her.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we would get,
As a national anthem, or?
No, she sang the song called I Will Rise.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know, if we're going with a new day,
that one.
that really goes, I will rise, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to reach out to?
Are you all fine with that?
Yeah,
So have her
sounds
ring?
good to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And then color guard, obviously, from
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
From
So we
where?
can do one of the Battery Creek or Beaufort High's ROTC for color guard.
I
Oh.
don't have a preference, so variety is probably best
Yeah.
there.
Where's this girl a student, Kristen?
Hill Branch did.
Is she from Whale Bridge?
Whale Bridge, Whale Bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have any elementary school kids?
Yes, the little ones. What do we have?
The Pledge of Allegiance and the introduction of speakers.
Right.
So we generally have students do those, lead those things as well.
I made the mistake of referring to the MC Riley Singing Eagles when it says the Screaming Eagles.
Oh,
That's unfortunate.
I misspoke.
So perhaps we can have the elementary kids do the pledge? I mean, they're, you know, they know the pledge and they,
That'd be fine.
if we want, because we have high school,
We have high school color guard, we have a high school singer, so we can do elementary school for the Pledge of Allegiance.
We have several schools that are close.
Yeah.
Could be there in 10 minutes, Port Oil,
right?
Broad River.
And they're announcing the guest speakers too?
We generally have students introduce the speaker.
Excellent.
So we can have a student introduce the superintendent.
And
And
then
we
What
want
was the
to
student
bring,
MC last year?
we'll bring them up to date of,
So
That was the middle school.
this is what we're talking about. You want to tell
No,
them?
go ahead.
Okay, what we're talking about is the theme being, it's a new day.
Mhm.
And the first part of the meeting, introducing the new senior level staff. So, you know, we have a lot. And then, breaking into a mini listen and learn, where you can break
Yep.
up and do the same type of thing, so we get
Yep.
people engaged.
Okay, perfect. Sounds
And
good
then-
to me.
Yeah. And then could you do a summary of what you've heard? You will have finished your listening tour.
Yep,
Just a little
Yep.
overview.
yep.
Yeah.
I'll do
Bring
that
it all together.
and I'll let them know that this is what we've got up to date, but I'll incorporate your
Right,
perspective in here, so they know they're not wasting their time, what they're giving us is part of what we're doing.
That'll
Yeah.
aid the two,
Yeah.
I think. And then you have to have the chair present
Right.
to the,
now,
at some point.
normally what we do is when we do seating, last year was also the first time we decided not to do assigned seating, but we asked that board members not sit. Normally, we would
Yeah.
right.
have board members sit at different tables,
table.
so that there's a board member at the first 11 tables, and
Yes.
and that it would be different people.
I like the assigned seating.
So- The only problem with assigned seating was that when people didn't show up,
Everyone knows.
then we would have some that would be empty,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
some that there were a lot of people who do show up who do not RSVP. So then they would fill up the back tables that we didn't have assigned. So last year we tried the unassigned, except for board members. We just asked board members, we assign the people who are on program. We reserved those first tables for them, and then everybody else was free to sit wherever they went to, and we just asked board members not to sit together.
I wasn't at
So-
last year's meeting, how did that
so
go? Because
the-
my concern would be you'd have all the principals sitting at 3 or 4 tables, and
Some of them
and the
did,
elected
some-
officials would all want to clump together and.
Some of them did, some of them, but because they were arriving at different times, and there weren't people necessarily staying, like, I didn't, you know, Jim didn't tell me he was coming, I didn't send Jim a seat, so then you kind of walked around wherever you saw an empty seat at.
I think
So-
I was there last year, and I know the table that I'm sitting at, there were the, SIC chairs, sitting with the principals that they had come with. It was
Yeah.
kind of,
And you wanna split them up, right?
yeah,
And people people didn't like that, because like when United Way came, they would come like with 4 people, and they wanted to sit with the 4 people that came together.
All the realtors did.
The realtors wanted, the realtors, you know, if I came
love that
with you
table.
and rode with you, then I, you know, wanted to be with you, you know, and sit
But if
with
the
you.
idea is to get different perspectives, you wanna, you wanna,
However you all tell us to do is what we
Get out of
do.
your comfort zone,
Yeah, yeah.
sit with, you know, somebody you don't normally sit with. So we can make that announcement, and we can encourage that as they're coming in. I mean, I don't know how you do that, but.
we're gonna have them pick a number, and they come to that table, and sit at that table, then you're gonna do trading numbers, so
Random.
that,
Great.
I don't know.
if you did it random, that would work.
Just have a request,
Yeah.
looking over the guest list.
Yeah.
Could I not be assigned to the table with the coroner?
We'll try very hard not to do that.
I don't want to, I have no interest in meeting the coroner ever.
It's just the shortest distance between 2 points, that's all.
Oh my God.
I'm in.
So-
Uh,
I mean, how,
doing this
So we've got to bring this to the board, and just the dollar and cents piece. And, but it's not on tonight's.
No.
it would be to the 23rd.
Okay, that sounds good, sounds good.
So can we, you think we can have a number for the breakfast and estimate? Do you think that's, I mean,
130, 140?
I don't know if they're calling them.
just to,
I'll just call them and
say
ask
it's
them
a
and
recent
say
number?
We're
Yeah.
going to look
Yeah.
at estimate at 140 people, and
Yeah.
what did you, can you provide, and what would the cost be?
Yeah.
Shrimp and grits.
So normally we do the vegetable, I mean, not vegetables, fruit, not vegetables, fruit, shrimp and grits. We
Omelet
have
station, I think
biscuit.
they do omelet station.
Well, the food service does.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want an omelet station for 140 people.
Well, not everybody does it. But
No.
it just looks
We
cool.
kind of, to set up that room, we took up all of the space of that room except for the side for the performance.
Yeah.
So
Where do we do it? Is it in the media center?
Yeah.
they're voting to do it in the media center this year.
My feedback on the omelet center is I wouldn't do it because of the time.
It
And you
just
get
takes too much
people
time.
queued
Yeah,
up
yeah,
for that
yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff, yeah,
Yeah. I think we're good, I think it'll
yeah.
be.
Do you want to have an MC?
Hmm?
I mean, do you wanna have,
You
we had a
kinda-
student MC
We
last year.
had a student MC to do that, to move it along.
You know,
Introduce the-
just a thought, I don't know if it's something you're interested in or not, but, we would have, one of the local, news anchors, do the
Do that
MC
one.
if we wanted to do an MC.
Okay.
Um,
They have the voice.
that's it, because of the voice, because of the voice,
Yeah.
that's why they did it, you
Well,
know.
plus we probably get some press then, you know?
Oh, they'll be there,
Yeah.
they're usually
So,
there.
I don't know, that's a,
Yeah, that's a good
That's-
suggestion.
yeah, I like it.
Do we-
Reach out to someone?
Sure.
Do we ever have a representative from, so we have multiple police departments that look over our schools, do we ever send out an invitation to any of them? Someone from the Beaufort PD, the Bluffton PD, the sheriff's office?
We send it to Sheriff Cannon.
Yeah.
I didn't see
Yeah.
it
Chief Clancy.
on the list, but that's a nice invitation, even if they can't make it, certainly to extend it to them.
I know for sure we've done the
Right there
sheriff.
next to the coroner.
Are they? There will be death, that's what we heard during the last.
just the sheriff,
hurricane.
no, not the others, I don't see the others.
Captain Gibbons, we,
Oh, I see.
Captain
Sure.
Gibbons,
Here it
yes,
is.
yes.
I see it, okay.
And we usually, like I said, we usually invite, draw branches from the bases, and, we also invite, Kim, from the base, the, liaison. So sometimes they have someone who comes and.
Excellent.
3 people that I deal with all the time, that are really kind of connected to the community are the people who have my job, but for the 3 law enforcement agents.
Mhm.
I would love to see, just because they're,
Give us an
Add it to the
email.
list.
Give us an email. And anybody else that, you know, you all feel that we should be inviting that
That's a pretty comprehensive list there, so, but if I think of anybody, I'll see.
We need their email and we'll do the e-invite.
Who designs the car?
Our resident
Oh.
artiste.
Rising.
Our-
Rising Sun, that's okay.
Coming up. Have
Our
fun.
resident artiste comes, Kristen and
Yes.
Molly have helped with in table decorations and designs and logos and whatever else that will come up with the thing, so.
Can any of our students or art departments do something for our tables?
We tried that one year.
Yeah. And?
It was kind of difficult.
Was it?
What was the challenge?
The one year we reached
We did, had kids
do
draw pictures, I guess, of
of
what
the,
they wanted to be.
yeah.
And I folded them into big planes, and it was just a lot.
And we tried to get something from each of the schools.
I think that's a really nice touch,
One
if we can
school
make it
can
work.
do one centerpiece, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what we did.
That's what you did.
One thing
Yes.
that I've seen done was, the kids in elementary school, they basically did a placemat.
Yes.
Picture,
Right.
placemat, so it sat there, you didn't have to fold anything.
Well,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, just put
With
my-
their name and their school
Yeah.
and their age.
And you know what,
That's
You gave them sort of a theme or something.
yeah, it's a
Right.
new
It's a
day.
new
Do
day.
that.
Yeah.
Sunrise.
And let them draw the picture.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah.
And then, I get it, the whole folding thing.
Yeah.
I get it. But if you do something where you don't have to fold, you don't have to fold
Yeah.
anything. you just-
Just on a regular, you know,
So we'll give them, we'll supply them with the supplies and
Yeah.
that way we can keep that more uniform.
Heather Bradley might be able to get the word out to our teachers, and just, all it really needs is 7 or 8 volunteers, 7 or 8 schools, that'll get you 20 kids to a class, and you got it.
Gotcha.
Anything else?
Do we, so we have, we're gonna reach out to the young lady at Well Branch High School for, our musical performance. Elementary school, children will do the Pledge of Allegiance. We try to get a middle school person to do the introduction.
What about a ROTC color guard? for
Yeah.
one of our
We
kids?
have that on our
And we
list.
have that.
Yeah.
Anything else, you know?
Lisa Nichols is more on the 20.
Third, next Monday.
Next Monday.
We'll have a meeting next Monday.
Yeah. Okay.
It's on the calendar, the 24th, I'm gonna check this.
So what do we want to put something in board docs for that on Thursday?
What we can do is, as the chair would, the committees are reporting out, so all the ad hoc committees would be reporting out. And so
Yeah,
we could put that information and have that available in
Yeah.
board docs for it.
okay. Okay. Nothing else? Meeting adjourned. Thank you for your.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is 4:38.
Not bad.
Yeah.
This committee should run the board meetings.